in the name of personal injury law.
We all buy auto insurance and we think we have full coverage, but do we really understand what is in our auto insurance policies? Today I have with me Steve Sinas of the Sinas Law Firm, and he's going to help us better understand what is actually in our Michigan auto insurance policies.
Thanks for having me on.
Great. So first, what is an auto declarations page?
So when you buy auto insurance, your insurance company will either send you electronically or through the mail a copy of your policy, and also something that's known as a declaration page, which summarizes the coverages you have bought from your insurance company. And in my experience, when I counsel people following a car crash, most people don't know how to really interpret their declaration page because it's complicated. So I would encourage everybody to try to get theirs out and try to understand it as best as they can, and I hope this segment will help them do that.
We're going to put it up on the screen for everybody to see, but you can also go back online and watch this episode again when you have yours right next to you. So this will be really helpful, I think, for everybody trying to understand what they actually have. So let's go ahead and start talking about this declarations page that we see on the screen. What is this first line about liabilities to others, bodily injury?
Yeah, the first point I want to make in general about declaration pages is that they generally are laid out the same, but company to company they're done a little differently, and sometimes the language that they use is different. But in any event, with regard to liability to others under this declaration page, this is the coverage that applies in the event that this person who bought this policy made some type of mistake or was negligent and caused injury to another person, and then that person brought a claim against them. And what this person has opted to do is buy liability insurance limits of $50,000 each person injured and $100,000 each accident. So those are the limits that apply to this policy. That means if this person makes a mistake, the amount of coverage they will have to cover the damages of a person they injure is only $50,000. And by the way, this is the lowest amount that you can select.
The lowest
amount.
Okay, so you can actually purchase more than this if you want to have greater protection.
And the point here is that this person has selected just to have this limited coverage. But the right to sue the at-fault driver provides the injured person the right to take that all the way to a trial, get a judgment against the at-fault driver, and if it exceeds the limits, then the at-fault driver may have to pay that judgment out of their own money. So that's why you want to consider whether or not you should increase your limits on your policy. If you have any assets, and just as a moral issue too, because we all drive, we all can make mistakes, and if that happens, if we've done the responsible thing and buy more coverage, we can at least provide more compensation to someone we may inadvertently injure.
Okay, well, let's go down to the next line. Limited property damage.
Yeah, one thing that's really surprising to people is that if they're hit by an at-fault driver, they come to learn that that at-fault driver only has to pay at most $3,000 for the vehicle damage that they've caused, your vehicle. And that actually only applies to the extent that you don't have your own insurance coverage. If you have collision coverage with your own insurance company, they don't have to pay anything. But the bottom line is that this declaration item is just talking about that $3,000 of damage that could be recoverable in a vehicle damage claim brought against this person.
Okay, and the next line is personal protection insurance, which we call in Michigan PIP benefits. What's that mean?
Right, so PIP benefits include several different benefits, but this line item, and this is how it's dealt with these days following the 2019 reforms, this line item is for the medical expense no-fault benefit. And this line item is saying that this person has limited their medical expense coverage to $250,000 per person injured in an accident. Now, important thing to understand, this coverage applies to the person if they were injured due to their own negligence or someone else's negligence. That's why we call it no-fault benefits. But what this person has opted to do is go down from the lifetime coverage that most people or everyone had prior to the 2019 reforms, and is now selecting to limit their coverage to only $250,000. That means if they're catastrophically injured and needed millions of dollars of medical care, no fault would only cover $250,000.
But just to be clear, it doesn't cost that much more if I want to select unlimited PIP benefits, right, or lifetime benefits.
Well, the reality is in the central Michigan area, that's true. In my experience, going up from the limited amount to lifetime doesn't cost you that much money. But depending on where you live, unfortunately, that increase could be significant. But I highly recommend, if you can afford it, to get lifetime coverage, because it makes a huge difference for those who are seriously injured.
Okay. What is the next line? Work loss and replacement services.
Those are another types of no-fault benefits. Work loss benefit is the income loss benefit. The replacement service benefit is a household chore benefit. So that person has selected those benefits. Pretty much you have to select those benefits, but that indicates the person has the right to recover those no-fault benefits.
All right, property protection insurance, here it's for $1 million.
Right, so if we are in our vehicle and we somehow are in an accident and our vehicle damages, say, a house or a building or other types of property, not an automobile, but in other types of property, this is the coverage that covers that loss. And it's required that we keep this coverage on our vehicles.
Okay. Uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage.
This one is really important to understand, and unfortunately most people don't really understand that they have it or what it really means. This is coverage that you buy yourself to protect you and your family in the event you're injured by an at-fault driver who doesn't have insurance or doesn't have enough insurance. If they don't have insurance, it becomes an uninsured claim. If they don't have enough insurance, it becomes an underinsured claim. And what happens here is that when you pursue your damages against the at-fault driver, you obtain whatever amount of money is available under their policy, and then you can turn to your own insurance company to pay the rest of your damages up to your limits. Now, this person bought only $50,000 of uninsured, underinsured coverage. That is not enough coverage. I recommend people try to bring that up to as much as they possibly can, say $1 million or $500,000. Because what that means is that, unfortunately, if you are injured, and the other unfortunate circumstance that can arise from that point is you find out you've been injured by somebody who doesn't have insurance, you know you've done the right thing and bought your own protection through your own insurance company. And your insurance company has to step in their shoes to pay the damages as if they were the at-fault driver. So it's a really important form of coverage.
To protect your own family.
Yes.
Right, okay. What's the line about comprehensive?
That is coverage we buy for our vehicle in the event it's damaged by weather aspects, other like animal damage, damage that doesn't relate to actually vehicles striking our vehicle.
Okay, and then broad form collision?
That is coverage that applies when our cars are hit by other cars.
Okay.
And we can then recover damages from our own insurance company for the vehicle damage.
I'm going to skip down a couple lines to the statutory assessment recoupment fee. What does that mean?
Yeah, so this is a fee that we can all be charged because of the Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association. And this is part of the no-fault system, and that's just another aspect of our no-fault coverage.
Is there anything else that you want to point out about this form?
No, I just encourage everybody to take time to understand what they bought.
All right, well, I'm going to go home and pull up my coverage and watch this episode again.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks.
In the Name of Personal Injury Law is brought to you by the Sinas Law Firm.